Las Vegas sets the scene for the Mountain West Conference Championship.
And here we go.
Two familiar foes looking to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Keita with the jam.
Will it be a trifecta come trophy time for the Aggies?
That's his move. Creativity.
That's what makes Matt Mitchell such a tough cover.
Or will San Diego State exercise its championship demons? The Mountain West Championship is next on CBS. Welcome, everyone, to CBS Sports NCAA Men's Basketball Conference Championship Weekend, presented by Army National Guard. Today, it's the second-seeded Utah State Aggies and the top-seeded San Diego State Aztecs. The Aggies beat Colorado State last night. The Aztecs took care of Nevada in the semifinals. Today, these two teams meet for a third consecutive championship weekend. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside Dan Bonner sets to call his 35th NCAA tournament. We've got San Diego State, Dan, here. They're on a roll. The experts, though, say Utah State is on the bubble.
Well, let's start with San Diego State, Kevin. They are arguably the second-best team on the West Coast. In fact, in the last 2 years, Gonzaga is the only team out here that has a better winning percentage than San Diego State. Now, they have dominated the Mountain West Conference, except in the championship game for the last 2 years when they've dropped the game to Utah State. So the Aggies, they want to eliminate all that bubble talk today.
You've been watching a lot of tape on these two teams. Take us inside these teams. Headliners you're going to watch today.
Well, let's start with Matt Mitchell for San Diego State. He was the coach's choice for Player of the Year in this conference. A 6'6" bruiser who can put the ball in the basket from inside or outside, and that's what makes him so hard to deal with. And speaking of hard to deal with, how about Neemias Queta? He's the coach's selection for Player of the Year in this conference. He is a dominant force on the inside on both ends of the court for this Utah State team. They run an awful lot through him.
Dan, let's now take a closer look at these teams with your fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
Well, again, look at Queta. The ball goes into him, and the defense surrounds him, and they're all looking at him. That enables him to make a cross-court pass, a second pass, and they've got a wide-open three. Now, San Diego State is much better when they can get out in transition, particularly when they have guys like Jordan Shackle who can pull up and shoot that three so effectively.
The championship game of the Mountain West. Selection Sunday is 24 hours away. All on the road to the Final Four. CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Army National Guard. The next is now. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by AT&T 5G, reliable, secure. Beautiful day in Vegas. This is the third consecutive year Utah State and San Diego State have met in the Mountain West Tournament Championship game. In 2019, Utah State's Sam Merrill scored 24 points in an Aggie win. Last year, Merrill shocked the top seed Aztecs with a three-pointer with 2.5 seconds left to win the tournament. And that championship, 59-56. He nailed it right there. There's a look at Craig Smith. He is a winner of the Conference Coach of the Year. He's done a magnificent job with this team. Queta is his main weapon up front, who has basically covered every part of the floor with his statistical excellence. Bean, Worcester, and right on down the line. And then for the Aztecs, you see Shackle, who's got a terrific three-point shot. One of the best, in fact, in college basketball. And Matt Mitchell, as Dan was talking about, is the Conference Player of the Year. And their coach is Brian Dutcher. In his 4th year, he has won 2 consecutive Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year titles. 13 consecutive wins, Dan, for San Diego State coming in.
They're playing very well, and Kevin, and 9 of those wins were by double digits. The last 4 have been all by single digits, including 2 here in this tournament.
San Diego State hasn't lost since mid-January, 3rd longest current streak in college basketball. Utah State has won 6 consecutive games. They have been playing very well. Our officials this afternoon, Randy McCall, Eric Curry, and David Hall. A terrific crew for a big game. 19th ranked and number 1 seeded San Diego State against the 2nd seed Aggies of Utah State, and away we go.
This is an outstanding San Diego State defensive team, as is typical out here.
Keita on top, gives off to Anthony. And back on the wing, it's Bean, Justin Bean, with defense down low and picked up by Mitchell.
Bean made a mistake there of leaving his feet, Kevin. He was trying to get it inside to the big guy, Keita.
Mitchell inside over Bean, and his 15-footer is pure.
And that's where I think Mitchell is at his best, particularly in transition. He can get in the lane and shoot that little pull-up jump shot. Utah State cannot turn the ball over and allow the Aztecs to get out and run.
15 wins in the conference season for Utah State. Keita inside, and he works on Mensah and gets the deuce.
Keita is so good on the inside. He's really done a nice job of improving his strength and his touch around the basket. Can use either hand in there, and if he gets that close to the goal, he's hard to deal with.
Mensah on top. San Diego State. 7 times they have been in the NCAA tournament in the last 11 years. They're trying to get in again. Pulliam, wide open 20-footer. And picked up by Marco Anthony, the transfer from the University of Virginia, who sat out. He's got the ball right now. Sat out last year, works on Pulliam, and knocked away and out of bounds with nice Aztec D.
Mitchell comes over and helps, and San Diego State is really going to be hard to penetrate all the way to the basket.
San Diego State, the number 1 seed in this tournament for the 6th time in school history, and for the 2nd year in a row. That's a nice shot outside, which will drop.
Kevin, on the underneath out-of-bounds plays, invariably Utah State is going to Justin Bean. If you don't cover everybody else on those plays, you have to find him.
Justin Bean had a double-double last night in the win over Colorado State. 2 minutes gone, championship game. Nice spinner in here by Matt Mitchell. He's out of Riverside, California, Roosevelt High School. And he's a 1,000-point scorer, Dan, for the Aztecs.
At 6'6", 235 pounds, that's a sort of a bruising kind of frame, but he's pretty nimble in there, as you can see.
Pulliam gets it, goes into Bean. Oh, and swatted away inside by Keita. One of the top shot blockers in college basketball, number 4, coming into today.
Kevin, Keita does a great job running the court after that turnover. Now, he probably didn't need to swat it that hard, but that...
Oh, I think he did. I liked it.
He's trying to make a point.
That's fun to watch. He is an exciting player, a high flyer, and is a dominant defensive player.
One of the reasons is he's such a hard worker.
Yes. There's a violation on the inbound. They didn't get it in time.
5 seconds. Yep. Now, this is a Utah State team that is based on defense. That is their identity, defense and rebounding. They're not a bad offensive team. I don't want to make that, say anything like that, but they are not. They're much better defensively. On offense, they can get a little tendency to go into some scoring droughts.
Utah State, we mentioned before, the 15 wins. That was the most of any team in the Mountain West Conference. Bean on top. Wister on the wing. He is a freshman and a good one. Inside Keita. Off balance, he was knocked that time. Mensah was down there defending, and Mensah will pick up the foul.
And Mensah has been in foul trouble since this tournament started, Kevin. He has spent a lot of time on the bench in both of San Diego State's wins, and I don't think the Aztecs can be successful today if Mensah is sitting over there with Brian Dutcher.
So here is Keita. Dan, he has put up individually some of the best numbers in all of college basketball, including an eye-opening 8 consecutive games with a double-double. And over that stretch, he's averaged 22 points and 12 rebounds.
Kevin, he has 87 blocked shots by himself this year, and that's more than 243
Oh my goodness.
Division I teams.
He is something else. He is a one-man wrecking crew. He's a junior from Portugal. He is 7 foot, and he is a load. His two teams have met twice this season. Team in blue, Utah State, beaten San Diego State both times. Mensa double on the wing, 3. Gomez puts in a triple.
You know, Worcester went to double Mensa, but he had to go a long way, and Mensa's a pretty good passer out of the post, and the best three-point shooter the Aztecs have is Gomez. You don't want to leave him alone.
Utah State has been to 2 consecutive NCAA tournaments. On the wing here is Miller. And Anthony, 20-7, the record for the Aggies. Miller 8 to fire, up and off. And Gomez inside. Terrell Gomez, a senior from Los Angeles, the other way. Screen, Mensa. Mitchell outside. 4 consecutive weeks, San Diego State has been in the top 25. Number 19 coming into this weekend the other way. Worcester tries to drive and knocked away and out of bounds.
Utah State is not a team that typically gets out and goes all the time. They'll take their opportunity breaks. Worcester forced that one a little bit.
Bean with the screen. Fires, and Mensa is inside. Nathan Mensa for Mackra.
So 2 underneath out of bounds plays for Utah State, and 2 times the ball has gone into Bean.
Bean has been terrific. Shackle. Got it. That's a 3. He is a top 5 college basketball 3-point shooter, Dan, and he is shooting at about 47% a clip.
That ball was not in his hands for a very long time.
Wow.
That's hard to defend if a guy's going to do that to you.
Worcester, the freshman. Queta retrieves it. Mensa is right there. 2 7-footers head-to-head across the lane, up and off with a Mensa rebound.
Mensa's got to be careful in there. That was pretty physical defense, and he's going to need to be physical with Queta, but he's already got that 1 foul.
4 of 7 starts so far for the Aztecs. 2 of 6 starts so far for the Aggies of Utah State. Pulliam on top. Mensa the screen. Shackle. Miller defending. 3. And picked up by Worcester, the freshman. He was the 2-time State of Montana High School Player of the Year. Weaving, driving, feeding inside. They can't get it to go. Mitchell gets it on the miss by Queta. And Mitchell into traffic. Tried the Euro step and out of his hands, and a foul called on the play. He had defenders draped on him. Our clock at 14:52. The 2 best teams in the Mountain West. This is Matt Mitchell, the Player of the Year. And that's the shot blocker, denying inside Queta. Back and forth we go in Las Vegas. You can't make this stuff up. Anything can happen in March. San Diego State with a couple of 3s and a 4-point lead. Dan, now time for the Inside March Madness presented by Buick. The winner here, of course, automatic berth in the NCAA tournament.
Well, if you look at San Diego State down at the bottom right, Jerry Palm has them comfortably in as a number 9 seed. Not so with Utah State. On the left, you see Jerry's got them as the last 4 in. It's really tough. Teams in the Mountain West, they don't get a chance to play a lot of quad 1 and quad 2 teams. The strength of schedule is not very good. The net is okay, but I think, Kevin, in this day and age, particularly this season, nobody knows really how that net is going to be used. I mean, Colgate is number 7 in the net.
Isn't that something?
What does that mean?
Well, there are different analytics certainly to look at. Here is Mitchell at the free throw line. Adam Seiko has checked in for the Aztecs. And Stephen Ashworth has come in for the Aggies. And Mitchell at the free throw line right now in this contest, as Utah State, Dan, started 2 of 3 from the field. They missed their last 4. San Diego State with that basket now, and that one on an 8-0 run over the Aggies.
Well, Utah State's been able to get the ball inside a couple of times to Queta, and he has not been able to convert. And remember what we said, Utah State, every once in a while they get into a little bit of a scoring drought.
Miller on top. On the wing, Marco Anthony. He's out of San Antonio, Texas. Got the screen, drives inside. They kick it on the wing. Alfonso Anderson with a three and a beautiful shot by the senior from Tacoma, Washington.
Anderson does a great job coming off the bench. He is an outstanding three-point shooter, particularly when you give him that kind of time. And Anthony's not a guy with lightning speed, but he just showed you he can get where he wants to go.
That was Utah State's first three, and there's a nice inhaling rebound by Queta. And they come the other way with the freshman Ashworth with the ball right now. Tries to sneak in. Ashworth thought about three. Seiko goes on him.
San Diego State's man defense is really good.
It is. It's fun to watch. Very active. Anthony, he's slick. Working inside. Ball knocked away. Pulliam's defense there, slapping at the ball.
Great defensive patience by Pulliam.
You can see it. They're confident what they do. Mitchell on the fly, a two-pointer. With a rebound hold down by Marco Anthony. He's got two.
Anthony's a big, strong guy. He basically plays point guard for him, but he's an outstanding rebounder.
They go inside, and looked like Tomajic will pick up the foul, the Maryland transfer. Tomorrow, it's music's biggest night. Trevor Noah hosts the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. That's tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on CBS.
Kevin, Queta can drive the ball pretty well, but he's not going to shoot the three, so there's no reason to get that close to him when he's well beyond the top of the key. You play off of him a little bit, force him to give up the ball.
This is Anthony. Tomajic was there. New player in Lamont Butler has come in for the Aztecs. There's a quick foul. That's called, and it goes quickly on Lamont Butler.
Bean is back in the game for Queta as Queta sits. Utah State elects to go small.
And what do you think of that?
I think that's a very good move. They've got a couple other 7-footers, but none of them have the skill level that Queta does. And against a team like San Diego State without a dominant big guy, as long as Mensah is on the bench, I think going a little bit smaller is very workable.
Tomajic watching the freshman who dribbled off his foot, off the foot of Stephen Ashworth from Alpine, Utah. That is his first turnover, but the fourth turnover so far. Somewhat of a surprise for Utah State. Those are early turnovers, and here comes Lamont Butler against Nevada last night off the bench. 10 points for the Aztecs. He's got the ball right now, and he's a freshman.
Kevin, the turnovers, I think, are a product of the type of defense that's being played.
Good
Remember,
point.
San Diego State is one of the top defensive teams in the country.
Tomajic with the screen. Keyshawn Johnson across the lane with a floater. And picked up by Bean. Ahead it goes to Ashworth. And now to Anderson. 15-4 record for Utah State, the team in blue. They were one game out of first and back of San Diego State. Half game ahead of Colorado State in the Mountain West. Anderson flips it up and gets it to drop.
Well, Anderson recognized that he had a mismatch. Anderson is 6'6". Seiko's only about 6'2". The side was cleared there, and Anderson just overpowered him.
Shackle got it. Miller quickly kept up on him. Nice defense there by Miller. Gets it again. He's got his hands full. The Shackle, some kind of shot. Butler on top. 8 minutes go. Oh, what a nice pirouette inside, but he cannot complete it. It's picked up inside. They're going to play a game of Twister on the floor. Dug out of there by Butler. Outside, the three won't drop. Another offensive rebound. Tomajic has it. The former Terrapin shuffling inside, grinding for two.
Boy, Utah State, they all ran away from that first offensive rebound, and they ended up paying for it. Utah State does not surrender very many offensive rebounds. They are an outstanding defensive rebounding team.
San Diego State, there's Bean inside. He snuck in there, and he now has 4. 10 shots by the Aggies. 14 attempts so far by San Diego State, where those offensive rebounds are coming into play.
Boy, and Anderson has been a factor since he's come in the game, knocking down a couple of shots, and that time with an excellent pass.
3, Shackle off with the rebound inside, handled by Alfonso Anderson. He was the Mountain West Conference 6th man of the year. And he's got the ball right now. Tomajic in his way. That's a three, and it's off everything. Anthony missing, and out of bounds it goes. San Diego State finished the regular season in first place in the Mountain West at 14-3. But they played this Utah State team twice and lost both times. Today they meet in the championship game of the Mountain West on CBS. San Diego State has led here by as many as 6. A look at Jordan Shackle, one of the great shooters in the country, and his shot chart from last night in the semifinal win.
Kevin, this is guy shoots 65% of his field goal attempts are from 3, but you can see here the green or make. 3 of them are from 3, 2 of them in the lane, 1 of them just inside the 3-point arc. So he is a capable scorer from anywhere on the court.
He has started 1 of 4 this afternoon. This year's teams in the tournament are using the Shot Tracker app on an iPad Pro for real-time analytics. Shot Tracker tracks the location of every player and ball. It delivers instant insights to help coaches make smart adjustments all during the course of a game. And you can download that same app for yourself right now at home. And I look at Dan, and sure enough, he's downloading it as we speak. I said at home, not if you're watching the game. You got to watch the game here. Anyway, we got a couple new players coming in as we find Max Shulga, a freshman from Ukraine, coming in the backcourt. On the wing, it's Butler.
There's Mitchell. He gets loose inside again.
Yep.
You saw Shackle sitting on the bench. Mitchell comes back in the game. They rarely play with both of those guys on the bench.
Mitchell's got 8. Ashworth on top. Lister, who is a high school football player, an all-state player in Montana, will grind his way in with a foul. May have been on Adam Seiko. It was. It is his first.
Well, Worcester is a guy. Now let's see if they throw this underneath out of bounds pass to Bean again.
And they go to Bean once again. This time he is covered by Seiko. Outside Anderson, 3, missed it all. Rebound by Butler. 14th appearance in the championship game for San Diego State. 11 of the last 13. Inside, shuffling his way, trying to carve some points. And they get it. They get 2 in tight. Mensah with his first 2.
And that's as many points as he scored in the first 2 games, Kevin. As I said, he's been in foul trouble a lot, but that's one of the ways that you can neutralize Keita. You attack him.
No foul there, although he hits the deck, and a turnover forced. It's Butler the other way, goes right into Worcester. Nice defense by the freshman Worcester. And the other way, Butler trying to stop the run of Shulga, and a foul called on the Aztecs.
Boy, another turnover, and Worcester got back. You know, coaches talk all the time about transition defense, and basically I've always thought that was a misnomer, but this isn't a misnomer. You get Mensah on the inside, and he can get that hook shot up over Keita. But Worcester not only does a great job getting back and getting in front of Butler, but after he blocks the shot, he keeps himself in bounds.
Seiko just picked up his second foul for San Diego State. Gomez is back in. Bean with the ball. Worcester down low. Denied inside by Mensah. Out of time on the shot clock.
See, I think Mensah's got to be really careful about that. If you're reaching from behind,
you're going to get caught, aren't you?
Yeah. Eventually that whistle's going to blow. But so far, that's been a great matchup inside.
Utah State, Worcester in, scoops it up, rebound inside, claimed by Nathan Mensah.
That's fine, but Worcester's got to get that up so it goes over the basket. Give Keita a chance to get the offensive rebound.
Gomez, Butler, approaching 9 to play in the first half. Mountain West Championship, the winner goes to the NCAAs. Diving inside, lost the ball, turnover on the play. Shulga from Ukraine gets it out to Worcester. His 3 on the fly. Mensah grabs the loose ball for the Aztecs. He's got 4 rebounds so far.
I don't know that that's a good shot by Worcester. He's not a high percentage 3-point shooter. Much better in the mid-range.
Johnson trying to drive. Denied right there. Down low by Anderson. Mitchell in. Step back triple. Rebound. Worcester knocked away inside, but retained by the Aggies, who are the 2-time defending Mountain West Conference Championship game winners. Last team that won 3 in a row, New Mexico, back in 12, 13, and 2014. And that's what the Aggies are trying to do, win for a 3rd consecutive year. Shulga on top, shot clock at 9. With the ball, Anderson. He works on Johnson. 3. Rebound. Shulga inside. He plays for the national team. Does Shulga in Ukraine.
The ball's got to go inside to Keita.
Mensa's on him. Keita's got the ball.
Oh, boy. Mensa poked it away again.
He did. Keita's got 4. Steamrolls the D. Out of bounds it goes. Shot clock at 2. They're going to call flop.
That's right. That's a flop warning and issue against Mensa.
7:51 first half from Vegas. Look at the Jersey Mike subs game summary. San Diego State, Dan, has missed 10 of their last 13 shots, yet they haven't lost any of their lead due to their defense. Matt Mitchell, the conference player of the year, leading everybody with 8 so far.
Well, we talked about Mitchell before the game, and he has shown us exactly what we thought he would. He's really good when he gets into the mid-range with that little pull-up jumper. He is just very hard to defend. He's big, he's quick, and he can get great position on the inside. The San Diego State defense, Kevin, I think has been the key here early in the game. Utah State has run up and down the court, but they just haven't found much success putting the ball in the basket.
Defense of the Aztecs, their calling card. They're number 7 in points allowed in college basketball. They're number 8 in college basketball in field goal defense. And it is showed. 2 on the shot clock here. Miller off his fingertips and ricochets out of bounds. And an Aggie turnover.
And again, the San Diego State defense, these turnovers that are being forced are not, Utah State isn't just throwing it away without defensive pressure. San Diego State is really doing a great job pressuring the basketball, not allowing Utah State to run the things they want to run.
Shackle back in. Miller quickly goes on him. Down low they go Mitchell. Bean is defending the top scorer. Cross court, nobody home, and out of bounds it goes with the turnover.
Well, now our referee, Eric Curry, was over there.
And he was over there, yes.
Wide open.
He was. Curry, one of the best in the business, is here. His wife is the Minnesota Golden Gophers women's coach. Basketball is certainly a part of every day in that family. From the Twin Cities. Down low, Worcester. On him is Gomez. Bean and Miller.
But that's just great job pressuring the ball, making it harder to throw it inside to Keita. And Keita's got to do a better job hanging onto the ball. That's twice now that Mensa has poked it away. If you grab onto the ball and you hold it very strongly in your hands, the referee's going to call a foul if you hold on to the ball. But if you let him knock it away, then the referee's going to let that go.
Bean inside, drew the double. Keita, mid-ranger, got it. The media in the Mountain West Conference said he was the player of the year in the conference. The coaches said number 11 for the team in white, the Aztecs, Matt Mitchell, was the player of the year in the conference. It's Gomez and Worcester. Little lefty shot there by Mensa, picked up by Miller. Last night, a 12-point win over Colorado State for the, there's a nice outside 3. Boy, they needed that in the worst way, and it came off the fingertips of Brock Miller.
Almost 70% of Brock Miller's shot attempts are three-pointers. And when he gets going from 3, Utah State suddenly becomes a much more dynamic offensive team.
And his defense today on Shackle will be important. Gomez, Worcester late. Gomez brings it up with a nice shot outside. That's a long 2.
Well, Gomez can certainly shoot the basketball.
He can. Worcester will slide off that baseline with a miss. And the rebound by Matt Mitchell.
Kevin, that's the second time that Worcester has gotten all the way to the basket and just short-armed it.
7-point win last night over Nevada by San Diego State. Nevada, very tough team. Spinner right there, up and down. Jordan Shackle, the senior from Torrance, California, puts it in.
Well, you can't work any harder on defense than Miller just did. That's just better offense by Shackle.
Worcester, he's not afraid to take a shot. Knocked away by Mensa. Nice defense. Galloping Mitchell right to the hole. The knock away. Keita picked up by Miller. His second block. He had 9 last night. Anthony cutting inside. And Bean took it up high and whacked on the play by Shackle. How about that block? What about the hustle?
Well, that's the second time we've seen Cater recover from deep behind the leg.
That is amazing.
That's what you call wow.
You better believe it. That kid is something else. He's the only player in college basketball with over 65 assists and over 65 block shots, and his numbers are very singular in the game. I mean, he is one of the elite players in college basketball.
Kevin, and it's interesting that you talk about his assists. One of the things that San Diego State has done in this first half is take away his assists.
Tatum, who was picked up by Tomajic. And quickly doubled in there. Pulliam was reaching in. Pulliam will pick up the foul. Trey, the senior from Byron, Texas. He'll pick up the foul. The first is on him. So the Aztecs beat Wyoming in the quarterfinals, beat Nevada last night by 7 to get here. And Colorado State fell to Utah State last night. And in the quarterfinals on Thursday, UNLV, the victim of Utah State, losing by 21, which brings us to this championship game for a third consecutive year. It's San Diego State, Utah State, and Keita right on the doorstep, finds 2.
Keita is just so powerful in there, and if you go and double team him, he's an excellent passer. Utah State, I think, needs to do a better job after they throw it inside to Keita, move to open areas to give him someplace to throw the ball.
Now they've got a rope in, a Glauca rope from Omaha, Nebraska. Born in the Sudan. Shackle inside, trying to go for it. It's going to be off Miller. Shot clock at 20.
Well, this is a situation. There's nobody there to help out, and what power by Keita on the inside. Tomajic is not in bad position. He's just not big enough to stop him.
William will inbound. He was honorable mention conference player. Once again, Miller right there. Tomajic tried that high screen. 4.5 to play in the half from Vegas. The winner goes to the NCAAs. Great crossover. Pulliam with a dazzling move for 2.
Keita didn't handle that screen and roll very effectively.
Utah State, 8 of 21. San Diego State, 10 of 26. That's the shooting so far. 4 to go. Worcester got the screen. Switch on D. Shackle's got him now. Here comes a drive. Marco Anthony. A lot of congestion. Tries to get untethered and picked up inside by Shackle. Outside, Mitchell. 3. It's short with a rebound by Anthony. Both these teams, Dan, have played 3 games in 3 days. You wonder sometimes how much is left in the tank when they get to this third and final game, the championship game.
We do wonder that, Kevin, but this pace has been very, very quick.
It's been terrific. Anderson missing up front. Tomajic will get the ball, and it's Pulliam the other way. 3-point shooting. Each have hit 2 apiece. They sneak it down low. Tomajic, and in there defending Keita, who gets the ball.
It's awfully tough to get it over Keita. Tomajic tried to do it quickly, and that left hand just rolled off the rim.
Team's catching a breath here as they slowly bring it up. Anderson. The top 2 seeds going at it. Worcester, oh, nice pass inside with a beautiful flush by Keita. How about the freshman's pass? Wow.
Well, Worcester did a really, really nice job. He, in fact, leads this team in assists, Kevin. That's his 88th assist on the year. That's a good catch, though, by Keita, because that ball was thrown in traffic.
It was, and you got to get it in stride, so it's got to be a thread-like pass. It was. The fake, the drive, high on the sledgehammer. Tomajic rocking the rim.
That's a really nice job. Keita looks like he's a little bit winded to me, Kevin. He just gave up on that play, and you don't normally see him do that.
Anthony and Mitchell. Takes the move. Keita trying to set that screen. There's a whistle, and there's a foul, and Mitchell will pick it up. Mitchell with the foul. It is his first. The rock in the rim. Keita crowbars one in. And then the pump fake, the drive, and the tomahawk. Utah State had an early 2-point lead. Biggest Aztec lead. San Diego State, they've been up by 6. Tonight at 9 Eastern. CBS Sports Network brings you the Conference USA Championship as North Texas battles Western Kentucky for a chance to claim their spot in the NCAA tournament. And there are a lot of teams looking for that ticket to punch. A couple teams outside of the two we're watching here, Colorado State and Boise State, nervously watching what's going to happen 24 hours from now.
Well, Boise State started very strongly, but sort of faded down the stretch. Jerry Palm has them out. Colorado State, Kevin, Jerry Palm has them among the last four in, and provided none of the bid stealers take and grab a bid, then Colorado State, I think, will be okay. The main thing about Colorado State, Kevin, they don't have any bad losses. They didn't lose any games in Quad 3 or Quad 4, and the teams in a league like the Mountain West, they just don't get the opportunity to play as many Quad 1 games as some of the other bigger leagues.
Final 2 minutes now, the first half. Third straight year these teams have met in this conference tournament championship game. Utah State's won both. The team in blue. That's a three, and it's way in the corner, and it's off there by Gomez and picked up by Queta, who's got another rebound. He's got 3 of them.
Well, how about that one-handed rebound while he's holding Tomajic off with the other
Not
hand?
bad, huh? He's strong, too. Driving into Tomajic with a corkscrew move inside. Queta loses the ball. It's off the hands, they say, of Utah State.
Really nice job by Ashworth to contest that three. And there's the rebound we were talking about. Grabs it with one hand while he's holding Tomajic off with the other.
In a pretty physical game, Utah State has committed only 1 foul, 7 by San Diego State so far. Minute and a half to go in the first half. Butler with it. Gomez on the wing.
Well, it was a really fast-paced game so far. San Diego State has only turned it over twice. And there's Gomez again. He is a guy who can really make a tough shot. He's now 3 for 3 in the ball game.
He is a transfer from Cal State Northridge. He was the Big West Freshman of the Year, number 3 in white. Gomez was. He comes here as a player scoring over 1,800 points in his career. Nice addition. Equaling the biggest lead, Aztecs by 6. The fake, the drive, and the travel. The travel right there by Alfonso Anderson. And coming up from New York with the 8th turnover. Coming up on the AT&T at the half. Greg, Clark, and Seth will get us caught up with all the scores and highlights. Very busy weekend in college basketball. We're just 1 day away from the NCAA selection show. Who's in and who's out and who's on the bubble. That's next on the AT&T at the half. It's Gomez. Just hit that shot moments ago.
These are 2 really good defensive teams, and it's been sort of a slog for both of them on offense.
Gomez again, 3. Get the pickup, rebound by Anthony. He's got 5 after sitting out last year. He's been a nice addition to the Aggies this season. Queta inside. He's in there battling Tomajic. They're going with hand-to-hand combat, aren't they? And Tomajic just picked up the foul. That's the second on him.
Queta doing a really nice job moving for position. Tomajic had him cut off, and Queta simply didn't accept it. He kept working, and as a result, Worcester had a very nice passing lane, and Tomajic was forced to commit the foul.
Utah State has not been out-rebounded in any game this season, and right now they got a 2-rebound advantage on San Diego State. One of the reasons why the Aggies are so good rebounding, Dan, is the guy at the free throw line is Shackle will come back in, and that is Queta at the stripe. Setting out now, Kashad Anderson. And here is Queta. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. And we have not had a player, Dan, with his number line, as you see right here, where he ranks. And those are some pretty good names with him right there. Andrew Bogut and Kawhi Leonard. So it gives you kind of a historical feel on the landscape of this conference, where he is and what he's done.
Those are 2 fairly good players.
Yeah, they are fairly good, yes. Well said, Dan. Well said. We got a quick timeout with a half-minute to play.
Here we go. Big fella jamming in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you believe this?
Anything can happen in March. It's coming up, the selection show tomorrow, so about 24 hours away. The first 4 comes your way Thursday on TBS and True. And then we get it ramped up. First and second round action from Indianapolis, taking you right through the national championship game on CBS on Monday, April 5. The last time San Diego State game was in the NCAA tournament, 2018. Win today, they automatically get in.
Kevin, there's a lot of teams around the country that were really disappointed last year, obviously, that the NCAA tournament didn't occur. And one of the most disappointed was San Diego State because they had an outstanding team.
They did indeed.
They had a 30-win season. They lost the championship game of this tournament to Utah State, but they were going to have a very good seed in the NCAA tournament. They had the possibility to make a little bit of a run.
We've had 3 ties and 2 lead changes, and we've got 21 seconds to play in the first half. They've met twice already, as we've said, and both wins by the team in dark blue, Utah State over San Diego State. They'll run it down. Gomez has got it. He'll face Worcester, and now they move. Shackle trying to set a screen. Gomez is dancing a bit. Down to 1. Defense there. Shot is away, and that takes us to the half. With the Aztecs in white leading by 4. San Diego State is 21-2 when leading at halftime. And that's what they've got now. Brian Dutcher's team up by 4 over the Utah State Aggies. That's the end of the first half from the Mountain West Championship in Las Vegas. Right now, let's take you to New York, and here is Greg Gumbel.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Coming up on AT&T at the half, a Rick Pitino team dancing once again. The Iona Gales heading to the tournament. Celebration continues after this word from your local station.
Capital One Saver Card, baby. 4% cash back on dining and entertainment.
Rewarding Chuck for dining and entertainment?
Oh, he does.
Like rewarding me for every time I plunder.
Hey, Garth, thanks for the goat cheese.
Don't thank me, thank her.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Welcome, everyone, to AT&T at the half alongside Clark and Seth. I'm Greg. The score out in Las Vegas. San Diego State with a 4-point lead over Utah State. 28-24, a little clash of winning streaks here. Utah State's won 6 in a row, and San Diego State 13 straight.
And both of these teams really hang their hat at the defensive end, and you see it's a half-court game, which means you've got to take advantage of your opportunities, particularly in the paint area. And San Diego State able to do that. Matt Mitchell, such a tough matchup because of his ball skills and wide body and soft touch. They post him quite a bit. Mensa gets some work done inside, and that's really the difference in the game. 8 turnovers for Utah State, only 2 for San Diego State, but plus 6 points in the paint for the Aztecs, and they sit on a 4-point lead as a result.
Yeah, it's funny listening to Kevin and Dan Bonner talk about, oh, this game is really being played at a fast pace, and both of the teams are on pace to score fewer than 60 points, so that shows the type, stylistically, the game that we're in, and so the big players really step to the fore. We talked about Neemias Queta before the start of the game, so if you haven't got a chance to see him play, you can see why he is so special. Look at him being able to step out, running down a block, 12 points. In the first half, and you know, this has happened to me once. It's happened to me 1,000 times. You hit your head on the backboard. I chip my tooth on the rim once in a while. He's got to be careful in there, big fella. The nice flush, only 3 rebounds, which is well below his average. But if you're Utah State, the concern is you're down by 4 points, and San Diego State is 2 for 11 from 3-point range. Terrell Gomez and Jordan Shackle for San Diego State, 2 outstanding 3-point shooters, 2 for 8 between them. That's not going to hold up forever.
Are you all right? Your head is okay now?
I'm all right. It's,
all right.
You know, put a little ice on it.
Let's check in with the conference championship action elsewhere, starting with Rick Pitino and Iona trying to win the Mack.
Who's that? Who's that guy? First of all, full respect on the suit, tie, pocket square attire. He is in championship form, and Rick Pitino in year 1 in New Rochelle, New York, taking the Iona Gales back to the NCAA tournament. Isaiah Ross, the lefty with the sweet stroke, had 13 points. And Rick Pitino celebrating what he was coaching in Greece last year.
How about that?
Now he's in Westchester County. They went 2 months without a game because of COVID, and they're in the tournament.
Third coach to take 5 schools to the tournament. Big 12 championship, Oklahoma State and Texas.
There's 2 of Kai Jones's 11 streaking in on the fast break. That's likely, Isaiah likely for Oklahoma State. But Matt Mitchell, Matt Coleman getting to the rack. Well, I tell you, both of these teams are very dangerous. You look at Texas and Oklahoma State, their tournament team, and both playing pretty well, although Oklahoma State really struggling to score the ball in this first half.
To the SWAC now, Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M.
Entertaining game. Every year, the SWAC championship game is so much fun to watch. You're going to see Darrell Roberts knock down the 3 for Prairie, put him up by 4. John Walker, the 3rd, doing his work down low. We're tied at 14. This is Jawan Daniels, wide open from the left corner, doing his best Wally Serbiak imitation, and then Jordan Gillum driving the lane. This has been back and forth, fast-paced game right now. Texas Southern up by 8 points.
And if you had to find a coach who's comfortable in Madison Square Garden, who would that be?
That would be yours truly, Mr. Patrick Ewing, looking to steal a bid from somebody if Georgetown is able to knock off Creighton in this Big East championship game. But Marcus Zagorowski getting the Blue Jays off to a quick start. So solid, so poised, and there you see the big fella, Qudus Wahab, going to work inside. Boy, I've been so impressed with this Georgetown team, particularly of late, playing with great confidence and only down by 2 right now.
Now, taking a look at the field of 68 as it continues to fill up. Anybody in there sticks out, Seth, like a sore thumb to you?
Yeah, the Loyola Chicago Sister Jeans up there at the top. I think this is a really good team. 8 of 14 of these teams are 1 or 2 seeds, could do some damage.
Agree. I agree. I like the Cleveland State Vikings. Going to continue to talk about that squad. Torrey Patton, Demoy Hodge. Keep an eye on them, folks. They play with a lot of grit and fire.
All right, we want to remind you to watch all of the drama unfold tomorrow here on CBS. We're less than 24 hours away now from finding out who's in and who's out on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. More to do when AT&T at the half continues after this.
Virginia Commonwealth has a date in the A-10 championship. Bonnie's moving on to the title game.
We're in store for a heck of an A-10 championship.
Oh, on a rack attack.
Washington. He can do so many things.
Surviving in advance, trying to keep the train rolling.
Oh,
he did.
Speaking of flying.
Tomorrow at 3:30, we're going to come out here and try to play as hard as we can to get it done.
We're going to be crowning 2 conference champions tomorrow here on CBS at 1 Eastern Time. VCU and St. Bonaventure for the Atlantic 10 title. That'll be followed by Ohio State and Illinois battling for the Big Ten crowd. Meanwhile, in our game, it's 28-24, San Diego State over Utah State. Not much to separate these teams. What do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think first for Utah State, they have to be able to take better care of the ball. Had 8 turnovers. Then the other thing, 6 of 10 shooting for Cada and Bean. The other guys on the perimeter are 3 of 14. Somebody else has to rise up and knock down some shots in the second half.
As I said, Gomez and Shackle are 2 great 3-point shooters. If you're Utah State, that's your nightmare scenario because the way this game is being played at this pace, it's only going to take a couple to give San Diego State the breathing room that it needs. I think that's what happens in the second half and they'll win.
Sometime during this tournament, we need to get you to hit your head on a backboard.
Yeah, they just got to
be a low back there,
who are just doubting.
I don't want to show off.
We're done for now. Coming up, second half, Utah State and San Diego State.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the half.
CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Expedia. Connect every detail for every fan and every trip. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. And by Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer. Enjoy responsibly. Well, a good look there at the last 5 champions of this terrific Mountain West Conference tournament on a beautiful day in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everyone, to CBS Sports presentation of NCAA Men's Basketball Conference Championship Weekend, presented by Army National Guard. 4-point lead for the Aztecs. Kevin Harlan alongside Dan Bonner. What's the second half going to look like?
Well, I think that we're going to see more good defense like we saw in the first half. And Utah State, they simply have to shoot the ball better, Kevin, if they're going to have any success at all.
You picked out a couple clips to take us back to the first half and what you saw there.
Well, these are the guys we talked about before the game. And Matt Mitchell certainly early got the Aztecs going very effectively. He had 8 points in the first half. He was able to score inside. Now, Keita also had an outstanding offensive first half. In fact, he scored half of the points. They got the ball to him inside. He blocked a couple of shots, but Kevin, he has no assists in the game, and assists are a key part of his basketball contribution.
And Dan, as we take a look at the Ultra Organic Seltzer first half stats, you see the turnover story. There were a bunch of them right there, but San Diego State, Dan, only scored 2 points on those 8 turnovers. So that was not necessarily something they took advantage of.
No, it wasn't, Kevin, but they only turned the ball over twice, and they only allowed Utah State to get 3 offensive rebounds. And this is a Utah State team that when they struggle on offense, they generally make up for it with offensive rebounds and forcing turnovers, and they have not been allowed to do that today.
All right, the winner here, as we've said many times, will get the automatic berth into the NCAA tournament, and Gomez will inbound for the #1 seed San Diego State Aztecs, coming in at 22-4. Utah State, the Aggies, at 20-7. They are the #2 seed. Gomez on top, and away we go with the second half. The winner to the NCAAs. Shackle got it.
That's the way Shackle started the game. He had 5 early points despite some really good defense by Brock Miller.
Now remember, San Diego State, #7 in the country in points allowed. Utah State is on a pace to only score 48 points. And Bean with a rebound by Mensah. He's got 5 rebounds.
Utah State has got to get better scoring from the backcourt. The starting backcourt players scored among them a total of 3 points, 1 basket by Miller. Worcester hasn't scored a basket, and neither has Anthony after a great game in the semifinal.
Anthony defending there. Mensah going up. Keita was right there. Foul on the defense. Maybe Keita as they're going up. And it was Nathan Mensah with the inside play as they were swarming on him.
I think it's Bean that got the foul.
You're right. Bean picked it up, Dan.
Keita went to block the shot, and Mensah was all alone for the offensive rebound, and Bean, I don't think, had any choice but to foul.
Drifting on the perimeter is Gomez. Mensah trying to switch that defense with a screen. Can't. Shot clock at 5. Matt Mitchell inside. Mensah right there on the doorstep. Couldn't get it. 2 shots right at the rim. Neither fell, but another whistle and another foul. And I think this is on Anthony. It is, who picks it up for the Aggies.
Well, Keita, you could see he comes over and he tries to block the shot, and Mensah is all alone. Kevin, you got to dunk that one.
So at the free throw line, Nathan Mensah. Went to prep school in Nevada. Tuesday on CBS, and this is the biggest lead now for San Diego State. Tuesday on CBS from Dick Wolf, executive producer of Law & Order. This elite unit will bring all their intellect and technical expertise in order to try to keep New York safe. Their job, staying 1 step ahead. FBI, Tuesday 9, 8 Central on CBS. 8 is the biggest lead. Worcester the other way.
Perimeter defense by San Diego State has just been outstanding. The guards for Utah State, they got nowhere to go.
Nice deflection inside by Mensah. On a pass intended for Keita. William batters his way down low. Out of bounds it goes. Shot clock at 21 and plenty of time.
Again, Kevin, the pressure on the ball is really outstanding, and that time Mitchell got in Worcester's way. Worcester, I think, was trying to stop and make a pass. Instead, a little hook pass there. Not very successful, but the ball pressure is something that Utah State has simply not adjusted to throughout this game.
For San Diego State, their top 4 players are all seniors. It's an older team, as is the team for the Aggies. They're an older team. They go inside, and climbing the ladder with a hammer is Mensah. Beautiful feed 2 from the wing, and that came from Pulliam.
Now, the offense for San Diego State is doing a great job forcing Mensah to move around, forcing Mensah to defend screens, forcing Mensah to come and help, and that has, forcing Keita to come and help, and that has allowed Mensah to get open.
Utah State has not scored from the field in 5 minutes. Worcester held it. Timeout taken. Utah State and their coach Craig Smith will talk things over. Our clock at 17:43. They went up high and he came down hard. Nathan Mensah, pretty play. The alley-oop was there. The lead is 10. The Mountain West Championship on CBS is presented by Army National Guard. The next greatest generation is now. 10-point lead by the top seed San Diego State Aztecs. The winner going to the NCAAs as we now take a look at the Fast Analysis Stand presented by AT&T 5G.
Kevin, we talked about the fact that San Diego State is doing a nice job moving Keita around, bringing him way outside to try to defend that ball screen, and that gives Pulliam a lane to the basket as the defense does not help.
Well, it's been 8 minutes and 47 seconds since anybody but Keita for the team in blue there, coached by the great Craig Smith, scored a field goal. Craig Smith, by the way, has the best winning percentage in the Mountain West Conference in the history of the conference, including the tournament. They go inside Worcester, squeezes the trigger, and gets two right in tight. They needed that 8-point game.
That's the first basket by any backcourt player other than Miller, and only the second basket by one of the guards for Utah State today.
Pulliam is a senior. Miller is on him. He'll accelerate and drive and knocked away, call the goaltend. Keita was the one that blocked it. Two more there for Pulliam, who's got 4 in the contest.
Well, one of the things that San Diego State decided they wanted to do at halftime is get Pulliam moving into the lane a little bit more, and you can see he just beat Miller out on the perimeter. Miller needs to lay off of Pulliam out on the perimeter. If Pulliam wants to shoot the 3, let him go, but Pulliam drives the ball very effectively.
Good observation. Keita here working on Mensah. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Mensah with a little foul on the perimeter.
Well, there he is reaching over the back again.
Well, tomorrow the championship game at the Atlantic 10 will come your way. St. Bonaventure against VCU. They've also in that tournament have the top 2 seeds. The Bonnies beating St. Louis U to get in there. Worcester will probe. Keita on top. Out on the shot clock, and here they set. Brock Miller on top. Shackle's got him. Keita trying to go in aggressively. They double him. Mensah with nice defense, and they threw it away. The defense right there forces the turnover.
Well, Keita was looking for somebody to pass the ball to, but his teammates stood around.
Screening inside, Pulliam with a floater. Either way they'll go with Utah State and the ball.
We have talked an awful lot about Jordan Shackle and his ability to shoot the ball, and with good cause, but he has been outstanding defensively against Brock Miller today.
Yes.
Brock Miller only has 1 field goal. And it's hard for this Utah State team to be effective on the offensive end if Miller's not going to score from 3.
Worcester over Gomez. Got it. Approaching 4 minutes gone. The shooting in the game, Utah State has gone 11 of 27. And San Diego State 15 of 40 overall. Mitchell with a move and a spin. Meets 2. Finds Mensah. Good feed. Good finish.
And again, drive the ball in, force Keita to commit, and then find Mensah open as the defense is a little bit slow to rotate.
Bean, 3 to fire from 3. That was a much-needed triple, and it's a 7-point game.
Boy, it sure was, and Bean is not an outstanding 3-point shooter, but if you give him that much time, he can knock it down. That's only his 10th 3 of the year.
So each team right now for the game about 40% shooting. Gomez has the ball. Worcester is on him. Little hedge right there by Keita. And he goes right back down low again. He's so fast on his feet. Shot clock at 3. Mitchell will dance on Bean. The fake. Hit the rim. And they're going to check to see. It will definitely be a timeout. I think he got the shot away in time. You know that Shackle hit there, and then Worcester answered at the other end. The 1 and 2 seeds in the Mountain West Conference on CBS. Now a 7-point game in this championship game. The San Diego State defense has been great today. 38% is all they're allowing, and 2 and 11 from 3.
Well, they've done a great job pressuring the ball. They haven't forced a lot of turnovers, only 10 so far, but they've done a great job blocking shots. Just nothing has come easy for Utah State. Anytime they get the ball in, there's some physical play.
They just keep wrangling them up, and their steals show it too. 6-0 on steals for the San Diego State Aztecs over the Aggies. I'd like to remind you that this year's teams in the tournament are using that shot tracker you see right there, that app on iPad Pro for real-time analytics. Shot tracker tracks the location of every player and ball. It delivers instant insight into the coach's hands on the sideline. They make smart adjustments all during the course of the game live. You can download that same app right now at home. Look at Brian Dutcher. Took over for Steve Fisher when Steve retired 4 years ago. And Brian, as we mentioned at the top of the show, 2 consecutive years the Conference Coach of the Year.
Kevin, in that shot tracker we showed you, there are an awful lot of red dots, missed shots really close to the basket by Utah State. Once the ball gets in there, San Diego State has done a great job forcing difficult shots.
Bean with the ball, and now they get it out to Worcester. Single digits on shot clock. Also in the game now, Seiko. He'll stick right with Worcester. He's in a straitjacket and trying to get free and trying to tap it in, but can't as Anthony as he went high and fouled while airborne. May have been on Pulliam.
Kevin, we talked about the fact that Utah State can get into offensive droughts, and sometimes their best offense is the offensive rebound, and that time Worcester forced into a very difficult shot, but an offensive rebound, one of only 4 so far today.
So at the free throw line, Marco Anthony, part of the all-defensive team in the Mountain West, and here is the Big Ten tournament with the championship game tomorrow on CBS. Big Buckeye win today over shorthanded Michigan. Coming in now will be Alfonso Anderson.
Kevin, that Michigan team has had an outstanding year, but I just don't know how successful they can be in the NCAA tournament without Isaiah Livers.
Livers did it all, didn't he? Senior decided to stay. Look at Mitchell going coast to coast. Seiko outside. He'll tee up a 3. Nice rebound inside. Claimed by Shackle.
Well, I think if I'm Mitchell, I got to shoot that ball. He didn't because he felt the presence of Cada.
Seiko. Mitchell flying in. Caught the ball. Knocked away. Cada, who just stuffed it right back. Stifling defense. But a foul. It may have been on Cada, who is flying in, parachuting in off the wing. Cada picks it up.
Kevin, again, Utah State does not give up very many offensive rebounds, but Mitchell went flying in there. Cada trying to come from behind. But this is what we talked about with Mitchell. 6'6", 235 pounds. He can play just about anywhere on the court.
So the Aztecs have 8 regular season conference titles and 2 in a row that they bring in here. But the last time they were in the tournament was 2018. They haven't been to the NCAAs in a while. They've been 5 times overall. A win here would automatically get them in. So Utah State comes the other way down. They have scored in the last 4 trips down the floor. 6 minutes gone in the second half. 8-point game. Anderson, Worcester, shot clock at 8. Cada, a lunging catch. Tomajic is there with the D. He'll spin and lean and miss and get fouled.
Kevin, that was a traveling violation. He did not get fouled, and this is exactly what we're talking about with the San Diego State defense. Yes, they got it indicated, but they forced him into a very difficult shot, and even before he could get that shot off, he traveled. This is a nice job. Seiko comes down to help, and Cada's just, I mean, that's a really difficult shot, even if he doesn't walk.
What defense by San Diego State. Their rankings tell you they're one of the best in the country. They're showing it here in the championship game. Mitchell inside, tries to pry his way in, kicks it out. Seiko, 3, no. Rebound, Worcester. And a whistle. Utah State is going to pick up that one.
I think that's Cada.
It is, and it's his second foul. Cada, their leading scorer, their leading rebounder, leading shot blocker. Once again, Shackles had no one on him but Miller today. Tomajic. He'll try to spin. He carves his way for two. Beautiful move by Tomajic.
Really smart play by Tomajic. Keita just picked up a foul. You know he doesn't want to pick up another one quickly, and so Tomajic goes right after him.
Now some of this unrelenting defense for San Diego State with 7 minutes gone in the half. 10-point game. This equals the biggest Aztec lead. Keita down low. Into a thicket. Look at all those white jerseys around him. He missed the first, and the second will rattle in.
Kevin, the amazing thing about this is San Diego State runs the court very quickly.
Butler blew a tire. Worcester was right there, and a turnover.
Tomajic, again, Keita has just picked up a foul, and Tomajic just uses that long frame of his nice little left hand right there.
Keyshawn Johnson will check in for San Diego State. Shackle will check out.
San Diego State has done a really nice job rotating Mensah and Tomajic in, and they have battled Keita all game long. Keita had 12 points at halftime. He only has 2 here so far in the second half, but he still doesn't have an assist in the game. They have done a nice job of cutting off that part of the Utah State offense.
Great notice. Keita inside. Surrounded and bumped and fouled. Clock at 12:27.
Kevin, not only are they surrounding him, but they are surrounding him so quickly and so aggressively that Keita, who sees the court very well, has not had a chance to look around and find open teammates.
Tomajic picks up his 3rd personal foul for San Diego State. There again. Different guys on him, taking different angles. Now back to Tomajic one-on-one. Keita. Worcester 3. Nice rebound inside by Anthony. He finds a lot of size in front of him. Anderson's open. Finds with a miss. Bean is there, and Tomajic inhales the rebound for the Aztecs.
But a positive sign there was the number of offensive rebounds that Utah State was able to secure. They've been hard to come by today.
Rebounding is even at 25. We told you back in the first half, Utah State has out-rebounded every opponent this year. They're familiar with each other. 4th foul goes on Tomajic. 2 teams at the very top of the Mountain West Conference. The championship game in Vegas today on CBS. CBS Sports coverage of the Mountain West Championship is sponsored by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Verizon, 5G built right. And by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. Rain and cold yesterday in Vegas. Today it is gorgeous. You see our score. Time now, Dan, for the Capital One. Rewarding performance and defense is your focus.
Well, defense has certainly been rewarding for San Diego State today. They've forced 11 turnovers. You see the 6 steals, and they have put great pressure on the basketball. In addition, they blocked 4 shots. It just, everything has been difficult for Utah State. And we said earlier that Utah State is a good but not a great offensive team. And when they have to work so hard for everything, it just makes it very difficult.
One area, Dan, where Utah State has always flourished, especially this year, has been second chance points. In fact, they almost have a 2-to-1 advantage this season in second chance points. But today, in the championship game, they're -3. 10-7, they're down in second chance points.
Kevin, on the season, they have, coming into this game, 136 more offensive rebounds than their opponents. But today, San Diego State has 10 offensive rebounds to their 7.
That's right inside and getting through, threading his way. Anthony gets the deuce.
That's his first basket, but Kevin, that's only his 4th shot attempt.
Outside now, Butler. Off to Seiko. And back to the player of the year in the conference, Mitchell. With a fake on Bean, who sticks with him defensively. He'll do it again. This time he goes up high. Again the defense there. Again the drive by Butler. Right into Bean. Picked up inside and put up Johnson. What a play by the sophomore from Oakland, California.
And there's another offensive rebound. They just kept going after it.
Keyshawn Johnson. He's 6'7". Watch this again.
Well, he drives the ball to the basket, throws it off the side of the board, but Johnson just comes. Nobody blocks him out. I like that. Johnson just comes from the corner, and that's Alfonso Anderson in the corner that just pays no attention to Johnson. You got to turn around and block him out. I think he was surprised that that was such a bad miss.
We have 2 winning teams here, 3 consecutive 20-plus win seasons for Utah State. At least 21 wins, 4 consecutive years for San Diego State. Poked away, Gomez did it. The other way comes Butler, and he'll sail in for 2 with great transition, and the steal makes it now a 46-36 10-point lead again for the Aztecs.
Again, we've seen it many times that Utah State just not very strong with the basketball. Now, the Aggies got very fortunate that time because they did a nice job getting the ball inside. But here's the last play, the tip away. And Anthony just lets the ball be slapped right out of his hands. And on the next play, he throws the ball inside. Keita gets the foul. But Anthony stood and watched after he threw it inside. You got to cut and give Keita somewhere to throw the ball.
Keita's up top. Pencil right there to get him. And now they go to Anderson. He'll work on Johnson. The series of moves and bumps and grinds and got it to go. Anderson gets the 2 and the foul called on Johnson.
Kevin, obviously Utah State needs baskets any way they can get them, but this is strictly a one-on-one play. This isn't the way Utah State normally plays. They get great movement. Everybody touches the ball. They have a lot of assists. Brock Miller has only taken 2 shots in the game. San Diego State has totally closed him out, and they have made Keita and Anderson and Bean like one-on-one players on the inside.
14 for Keita, the only player in double figures for Utah State. Mitchell's got 10, only player in double figures for the Aztecs. 7-point game and approaching the halfway portion of the second half. It's Butler. Played at Reggie Miller's old school. Inside Johnson, triple teamed up in a straitjacket. He's finally able to get the shot away, but fouled. And Worcester, I think,
yes,
is the one they assess. They do. Number 2, Dan, on him.
Well, that just gives you a perfect example of the way San Diego State has played in this game. Johnson was inside. He was surrounded, but he was undeterred. He went to the basket and drew the foul.
Perfect 7-of-7 free throw shooting this afternoon for San Diego State. Some of America's toughest men and women are competing in real-world challenges. Their strength, their endurance, and coolness under pressure will prove who is the toughest. Phil Kogan hosts a new Tough as Nails. Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. That could be a theme for the upcoming tournament.
Well, particularly it could be a theme for this entire season. Teams have really had to deal with an awful lot. These players have done a magnificent job getting to this point. They've had to be tough to do it.
Anderson. And now Anthony. And Johnson's on him. It's Miller over Gomez, into Keita, covered by Mensah. Shot clock at 5. Worcester cutting. He'll spin inside and over Butler. He launches. Keita gets the offensive rebound. Worcester free to fire, fakes, drives, feeds, whistle, and a foul. Wow. More defense. My goodness.
Kevin, that all started when Keita, 2 feet from the basket, elected to pass the ball. And Worcester, he drives in, and Worcester drives the ball pretty well. But this is just a great job by Shackle. Shackle has done a great job defending Miller the entire game. That time he's just waiting for Worcester. You can see that coming. But Keita had the ball 2 feet from the basket, and he passed it to Worcester.
Worcester just picked up his 3rd personal foul for the Aggies. They're 20-7. Aztecs 22-4. Shackle driving, step back, 16-footer, no. Rebound, Keita. Another rebound. Got 6 of them.
The Aztecs have also given up nothing in transition.
Keita inside, met by Mensah, trying to go up, knocked away, beautiful rejection by Johnson. That'll trigger this right here. Gomez the other way. He'll fly, he'll cut, he'll fire, he'll bury the shot from 20.
Boy, talk about defense to offense. That is a great job by Johnson. Keita took too long on the inside. You got to get the ball and make a move. You dribble it 3 or 4 times, you're going to be surrounded, and that's what happened to him.
And dangerous part of the game now for Utah State.
Well, they desperately need to get something going offensively.
Queta knocking bodies over. Mensa, one of them. That's a flop.
That's the second. That's going to be a technical foul.
Yep, this is something that college basketball is embracing, a technical with the second call on Mensa. What do you think on this call?
Well, Mensa started falling down
before he was even hit.
Before there was any contact. I think that's the classic definition of a flop
He
right
may
there.
not have been a member of Mensa with that move right there. Here at the free throw line is Brock Miller. He's been a part of 3 different coaching staffs with this Utah State team. Went on his mission, came back.
Now, Kevin, that's a technical foul, but it doesn't count toward anybody's foul total, and it is a Class B technical foul, which means it's only 1 free throw. But Mensa, he's the guy who got the warning, and then he's the guy who got the technical because he tried it again.
Cade is going to take a breather. Relied a lot on him with his 6 rebounds, 16 points, 3 blocks. A rope is in now. With the ball is Pulliam. With a whistle and a foul away from the ball. And I believe Marco Anthony, the UVA transfer, is guilty. He is number 2.
Well, he got mismatched against a rope on the inside, and Anthony's not a little guy. He's 6'5", 225 pounds, but a rope, a couple of inches taller.
A rope from Omaha, Nebraska, where he was the Nebraska High School Player of the Year, born in Sudan, played at South High School in Omaha. 8-point lead for San Diego State, approaching 8 to play. Anthony, here's Bean. His dad played at Idaho State. Anthony, free to fire with a 3. Rebound by Mitchell, collision underneath. The rope was involved and a foul called on the Aztecs.
Bean is a tremendous rebounder, great offensive rebounder. He got fouled.
San Diego State has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2018. But plays like this, diving inside, the defense leading to offense. Back in Las Vegas, and Dan, we began this afternoon talking about San Diego State with 13 consecutive wins, clearly on a roll, and Utah State coming into today on the bubble. But Jerry Palm, as of now, has said that even if Utah State would lose, they could be the last team in.
Kevin, I think that the last team in is a very shaky proposition, and Utah State would prefer that they not be in that situation. Kevin, you saw the numbers up there, and you'd think based on those numbers that Utah State would be down by more than 8. But they've done a nice job hanging in the game. We've been talking about San Diego State's defense. Well, Utah State's defense has been fairly stout as well. They just have to figure out a way to get their offense rolling a little bit. Particularly, it would help them if Brock Miller could find some openings.
So here is Justin Bean, who began as a walk-on. He was awarded a scholarship. He grew up in Moore, Oklahoma. Went to Southmore High School. We mentioned his dad played at Idaho State. And that number 34 that Justin wears is the same number his dad wore.
Now this kid, we said he's an outstanding rebounder. He's a really hard worker. He's one of those nose for the ball kind of guys. And Kevin, you know, if you weren't watching the scoreboard, you'd think the lead was more than 6. So Utah State, they have not played their best basketball, but they have themselves in a position here. They can get some stops and make a couple of baskets.
A rope to Mitchell, and Mitchell was shoved from behind, and a foul. Was it on Brock Miller, perhaps? I believe it was. Miller will pick up the foul. That is the first on him, and Mitchell will be at the free throw line. Matt Mitchell is one of 16 players in all of college basketball to average 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. One of the reasons why he was voted the Player of the Year in the Mountain West.
Well, he is a guy that gets to the free throw line a lot, Kevin, based on the way he plays. He attacks the basket. He scores effectively inside. And he is an excellent free throw shooter coming into the game at 81% from the free throw line. So that's the kind of guy. You want one of your best free throw shooters to go to the line a lot.
And Mitchell, one of 3 1,000-point scores on the floor for San Diego State in this game this afternoon. Worcester again, who handles the ball a lot. Bean trying to set a screen, a rope fighting through it out there. 7.5 to go. And Worcester got it. Nice shot right there. Raleigh Worcester has got 6.
That's a big basket by Worcester. But again, nice defensive job by San Diego State. That time they made Utah State a one-on-one team for that offensive possession.
The pace has slowed as the second half has gone on. Maybe by design. Maybe they're just tightening the screws a little bit. Seiko down low. A rope! Nice play. Comes up one side and dances to the other. Glancing by the D and got it to go.
That's just a good quick move.
Worcester again into a rope. Lost the ball. More defense, another turnover.
It's interesting watching the way San Diego State is defending Brock Miller in situations where a guy would normally help off of Miller. They're just staying right with him. They're not giving Miller any room at all.
Where the pace is really slowed. You wonder maybe if they're a little tired. Mitchell will drive and slash and score. Nothing tired about that move.
And if the pace is getting slower and you have a closer like Mitchell, then that's to the advantage of San Diego State.
Oh, a sliver of room, and driving through was Anthony and bumped as he was going to the iron. Got 6:12 to play here in the second half. Butler will pick up the foul. It is the 3rd on him, and Anthony will be at the line. It was Butler. I told you before, he went to Riverside Poly High School, and he passed Reggie Miller in the point total there. So here are teams that are still alive in the conference tournaments that they're in, like Georgetown will play in the Big East Championship against Creighton.
And Oregon State has a chance to get the automatic bid.
Yep.
You know, and the thing about it is, if they win the conference tournaments, then the team that, like Georgetown is playing Creighton, Creighton's gone. So if Georgetown wins, that's a bid gone. And if Jerry Palm is right in Utah State, if they lose, they're the last team in. That means their bid is gone.
San Diego State is led by as many as 11. Floater inside. Got it to go. Pulliam with a gentle touch. And it flutters through. Back to a 10-point lead. Keita back in. He's got it up top. Mensah back in to guard him. Miller.
We're just nothing doing for Miller.
I know it. I know it. Here comes Keita. They quickly blitz him. Inside, off balance, shove. Anthony took it as he fell, and a foul called. And it was on Mensah.
Kevin, you see they attack Keita, and Keita is a very willing passer, but Anthony took the ball a little too far into the lane. Anthony needed to stop about 3 or 4 feet out, so that way when he caught the ball, he wasn't surrounded and he could have gotten off a jump shot. But Keita wants to pass when he gets it in there. His teammates just haven't helped him out very much today.
Last night, his line, Keita's line against Colorado State. I mean, you had to kind of just rub your eyes and say 18 points. Keita had 14 rebounds, and the one that really was eye-opening, 9 blocks. That's more than teams have in a couple of games. He had it one game, one guy. 5.5 to go. 8-point game.
Well, Utah State trying to apply a little pressure, Kevin, because you're right, San Diego State has slowed the pace. They're running a lot of time off the clock, and you can do that when you have guys who can score at the end of the shot clock.
Switch on defense. Miller now on Pulliam. They go inside the high-flying Mensah. Outside, Mitchell tees one up from 3. Missing inside. Good rebound by the aggressive Worcester. Plenty of time. Here comes Utah State, the 2 seed. They've been to 2 straight NCAA tournaments. They go inside. Nice catch by Keita.
That was great defense on the ball. Keita was wide open, but Worcester couldn't see him.
Look at him try to carve his way and then spin his way and then watch it drop with a nice move inside. Dodging the defense. He is an arresting talent, isn't he, the way he scores?
Boy, he sure is, Kevin. And we've got a 6-point game again.
Again, Shackle, and they switch on D. 4.5 to go. Into Mensah from Pulliam. That was easy with a nice drop. San Diego State comes the other way. They have picked up now a little bit more. They've made 7 of their last 9 shots.
Well, Mensah has had an outstanding game. He's got 10 points to go along with 8 rebounds.
Once again, they double Cato. Cross court. Bean outside Miller. Shot clock at 6. Saved by Bean. Another turnover with good defense and Seiko the other way.
I don't think Cato was throwing it to Bean. I think Bean intercepted that pass. Cato was trying to throw it to the corner for an open 3. I think that was Worcester out there.
15 turnovers.
Need to stop here.
See if they get it. Spoon feeding Mensah. And a foul. And you talked about the penetration of Pulliam early in this half. That's been a part of the San Diego State Aztec attack. Leading by 8, they've been up by 11. The winner goes to the NCAA tournament. Selection Sunday, 24 hours away on CBS. Tomorrow at noon on CBS, Inside College Basketball sets the tone for a huge day of college hoops, including the Atlantic 10 Championship at 1, the Big Ten Championship at 3:30. Then watch all the drama unfold when we find who's in, who's out on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show at 6 o'clock. The road to the Final Four will end up right there at Lucas Oil Stadium. Getting ready for the NCAA Championship, all taking place in and around Indianapolis, Indiana. You take a look at our reset right there, Dan. 9-0 in the steal category. San Diego State has shown defense. Now listen, with those steals, they've also taken 14 more shots in the game.
Well, Kevin, the turnover margin is 10. 15 turnovers by Utah State. Only 5 by San Diego State. And again, San Diego State has gotten 11 offensive rebounds to 9 for Utah State. So that's 12 extra possessions. And those are areas where normally Utah State excels, but they still have a chance here.
They do. 8-point game, 3.5 to go. This is an important part certainly for this game, with the winner going on to the NCAA tournament beginning Friday. It's Miller off balance with a long 3. Inside trying for it was Anthony battling Mensah. They were colliding and jousting, and it's a tie-up inside. It'll be the ball going to the Aggies.
Right, this gives you an idea of the difficulty Miller has had today. That's a great job by Bean, just sticking his nose there. We said he had a nose for the ball. Sometimes you break your nose. You stick it in there.
Ada in there. 3, Miller, no. Rebound inside by Pulliam with a foul called on San Diego State.
I think it's on Pulliam, trying to fight off Bean on the inside.
He was in a tough position. No, they're going to give it on Mitchell.
Okay.
Mitchell will pick it up, Dan. And at the free throw line is Justin Bean.
What a great job by Cato to tip that ball. He was about to lose the ball, and he tipped it to their best three-point shooter, who unfortunately didn't make it.
Here's Bean today, his 84th straight game played and his 62nd consecutive start. Here is a kid who came, as we mentioned before, as a walk-on off of a high school career where he blew his ACL as a junior, had a tumor removed from his ear, and he's got only 50% hearing in one of his ears because of that surgery. But he's worked through all that adversity. He's played for this Utah State program and done a terrific job. Now they're down by just 6, approaching 3 to play, being a very important part of this 20-7 team. The Aggies working against the Aztecs defensively, trying to tighten their defensive screws. Pulliam inside, errant pass, wayward pass, and picked up by Anthony. And Bean the other way. Oh, nice quick hands there by Pulliam. He'll glide inside and find the 2 with the steal and the deuce.
Boy, Kevin, that was, they had the ball down 6, and that's the first time they've been able to cut into that 6-point lead. They've been able to get it to 6. Just a bad turnover that time.
2.5 to go.
I think Bean was expecting Anthony to step to the pass, and Anthony didn't.
Miller, 3. It's off with the Mitchell rebound and a foul on the Aztecs inside on that board.
Well, I think it's Mitchell trying to fight off Bean again. That's just a great play by Pulliam. Bean telegraphed that pass, and Pulliam, he wasn't even looking at his man. He was just watching Bean, and he steals the ball. That is a great defensive play. Not a good defensive play, but a great one.
Pulliam picks up his third. Bean is back at the line. We haven't talked about the Aggie defense today, and they've not played one of their better games, but they're 22nd in points allowed. Utah State is in points allowed in all of college basketball. And both these teams rode their defense to get to this championship game for a third consecutive year against each other.
Well, I think it was a good defensive effort so far by Utah State. It's just San Diego State has been able to grind it out on the offensive end.
Pulliam pulls up and floats one through. 64-55. San Diego State has led most of the way by as many as 11. Third consecutive year, these two teams, the top two seeds in the Mountain West, have met in the championship game, with the winner going on to the NCAA tournament. The Virginia transfer, Anthony, inside. A lot of congestion. The ball was on the rim, but it was touched, and there was no call. And looks like Mensah now favoring that left knee, and Pulliam taking his time, getting across midcourt, surrounded, accelerates, and gets out of harm's way.
Pulliam is really steady with the basketball.
He is, isn't he? He really is a steady player. A senior. Played some junior college basketball in Corsicana, Texas at Navarro College. Heady play. Shot clock at 3. Miller is on it. Pulliam will dance and spin. They lost track of the shot clock and the violation there.
Kevin, that's not the worst thing in the world to happen. They're up by 9 points. They ran 30 seconds off the shot clock. Utah State, they have struggled to make threes all game long. They're only 3 for 11. And if you're going to come back from 9 points down with only 1 minute and 13 seconds left, you're going to have to make a couple of threes.
Here they come with Worcester. Driving right through, knifes his way for 2.
Now you got to get on him.
7-point game, full court pressure. Trying to find a sliver of hope here, and they get it off to Mitchell. He's doubled, and to Seiko at midcourt, and they break it there, and met by the defense of Miller.
Kevin, I think it's a little too late in this possession to foul, but I think I would have fouled.
Here comes Mitchell into Bean.
That's an offensive foul.
It is indeed, Dan.
Yeah, but Kevin, they ran 27 seconds off the shot clock.
Second time they've done that.
Again, Mitchell's a guy who's a closer. That time Bean does a great job moving his feet, and Mitchell throws the arm out there. But Kevin, I don't think they have enough time.
32 seconds to go.
You got to go.
Yep. 7-point game. Anthony is picked up defensively by Seiko. Miller, 3, no, missed it all. And out of bounds, and last touch by the Aggies in Worcester. 21 seconds left, 20.7.
Well, Miller just has not had any room all day. And we said early in the game that the Utah State offense was much better when Miller was making threes. Well, they prevented Miller from even taking threes, much less making it.
Bean will pick up the foul. Stopping the clock at 14.1. That sideline of San Diego State can sense it. They're the 19th ranked team in college basketball. They've been in the top 25 for 4 straight weeks. And they have a chance right now to possibly put this one out of reach. Seiko is at the line with his first one going down. And as we said moments ago, Jerry Palm, who watches the brackets as close as anyone at CBS Sports, says as of now, even if Utah State would lose, they would be the last team in as of now. There are a lot of other games coming up, conference championship games. Long 3, Worcester, no, tipped up, no, picked up inside, Shackle's got it, fouled on the play, under 6 seconds to go. Brian Dutcher. Tonight on CBS begins with Bob Hart's Abishola, and then The Unicorn, followed by back-to-back editions of 48 Hours. That's tonight, only CBS. At the free throw line, Jordan Shackle. Came 1,000-point scorer the other night. With his 15 points against Nevada in the semifinals.
Well, what did Brian Dutcher tell us yesterday? It's easier to coach when you have 1,000-point scorers.
Yeah, they got 3 of them. Here comes Utah State in the final seconds of the championship game. Floats it up and off, and San Diego State is going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2018. They're conference champions in the regular season. Mountain West tournament champions, winning it here over the Utah State Aggies.
Kevin, a dominant defensive performance against a team that was playing, feeling like they had to win. Just an outstanding effort.
6th tournament championship, first since 2018. And for San Diego State, they are red hot. 14th consecutive win. And this one they will remember. Now for Gene Steratore and Dan Bonner, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight on CBS, Bob Hart's Abishola, then The Unicorn, and then 48 Hours. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports. The Mountain West Conference champions in the tournament, San Diego State.